doctor right now, okay, trying to get his head examined. Cha-Cha, in order to get his head examined, Cha-Cha has to get a colonoscopy, all right? That's how they do it with Cha-Cha, all right? That's right. Edgar Martinez, the highest batting average against Mariano Rivera. All right, so there you go. Look, in his career versus hitters who are in the Hall of Fame, Mariano Rivera, 269 opponent's batting average, right? And if you take away Edgar Martinez, he gave up a 236 batting average to Hall of Famers. Even better than that, this is a little stat on Chris Sale. He became a starter in 2012, and he has had 75 starts with 10 strikeouts or more. And over that same span, the Orioles, the Twins, the A's have combined 62. So by himself, Chris Sale, 75 starts with 10 or more strikeouts, and the Twins, the Orioles, and the A's starters have combined for 62. How about that? By the way, Vladimir Guerrero, we always need our Vladimir Guerrero fix, hit a 160, almost 117 mile an hour line out, his fifth batted ball with a 115 mile an hour exit velocity. Nobody else in Major League Baseball has more than three. Now, as I promised, I'd get back to the Mets. I don't even want to do the Mets. All right, let's do something else, okay?
Where's your hotel key?
Where's my hotel key? I love when a beautiful blonde asks me where my hotel key is. All right?
You don't know where it is?
Name the catcher since June 6th who leads all catchers in home runs and RBIs. Okay?
Travesty or no?
Shut up.
Is that right?
Yes. You spoiled the trivia contest
How
here.
can I spoil it when I'm playing?
Travis d'Arnaud leads all catchers in home runs with 10 and RBIs with 27 since June 6th. And the Met catchers in that span have 3 home runs and 15 RBIs. And they gave him away. Unbelievable. Christian Yelich, now the other night, hit a home run. 60 home runs, 33 stolen bases in 162 games. First player in the history of Major League Baseball to have 60 or more home runs and 30 stolen bases over an 162 game span. How about that one? Well, we're not done yet. We're just getting into it. We got a great day here of programming, so I really appreciate everybody, and thank you for giving me the time off and getting my head together. And I got to tell you something, it's full speed ahead right now on this network, and we've been talking to Lou throughout the week. We got some ideas. We got some great things coming on, so please support us. Some of us think that we're in a little bit of a lull, but that ain't happening. That is not happening. All right, George? Yeah, maybe they do want him back. I'm sure they do. They wish they never gave him up. And thank you all for such a nice turnout in the chat room this morning. Great to be back. Okay, let's pick up the pace now. And, and I heard Cha-Cha and Lou and Lucas talking about Clayton Kershaw and his chances of making the Hall of Fame. Only Max Scherzer and Chris Sale have more 60. Clayton Kershaw has 60 games of striking out 10 or more. Only Scherzer and Sale have more. All right, since the Kershaw debut in 2008. And in Hyun-Jin Ryu, his last 12 regular season home starts, he's 12-0 with an 0.75 ERA. How about that? So there you go with Hyun-Jin Ryu. All right, so I've been gone for about a week or so, and let's just take a glance and see what's going on in Major League Baseball in the time that we have missed here, okay? And let's start off with some of the players that are absolutely not doing it. And there are players not doing it. There was so much fanfare made about Robert Perez making the All-Star team, but he is 2 for his last 20. Elvis Andrus in a big-time slump, 0 for his last 17. So if you like Elvis, actually 1 for 17. Perez is 1 for 20. Andrus could be an interesting player to go after right now. When a player is 1 for 17 or in a slump, by the way, that translates into an 0.59 batting average. Same thing with Joey Gallo, who's batting 0.67. He's 1 for 15 with 9 strikeouts, okay, in his last 15 at bats. So now's the time, if you're in the trading mode, you need the stolen bases, you need Andrus, you need the home runs, go after Joey Gallo. Tommy Pham has been in a slump. He is 2 for his last 24. And Miggy Cabrera, without getting any support at all, he is now in a hole 2 for 22. Okay? Roughneck Odor is just not doing it this year, and he's not going to do it. So if you have any hopes of Odor, he's 2 for his last 19. Josh Bell. Boy, oh boy. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, we talked about trading Josh Bell. You missed the window of opportunity. He's 2 for his last 18. And Pete Alonso. And I have said, and I've been wrong up until now. Pete Alonso, I said he would bat around 220, 240. His average was, that's when he was hitting 300. He is now 3 for 24. And it's not just the fatigue. As we talked about, and I've talked to a lot of players, and they say the second half of the year is a little different. Beginning of the season, the pitchers are going after hitters using the pitcher's best stuff. Now, it's a little different. They're going after the hitters knowing what the hitters can hit, even though it's not their best pitch. So they're walking away from the macho theory of just throwing their best pitches. And right now, and what they're doing, and I'm telling you, they are tending to the weakness of these hitters. And we all know that Alonso has had a hard time with the off-speed pitch. And I'm telling you, his batting average is in the tank right now. It is really, it's not good. Alonso's batting average is it's going to sink. It's going to sink. So if you have a chance to trade Peter Alonso, you may not be able to do it now. 3 for his last 24. Wilson Ramos, the Mets are trying to get rid of him. His 3 for 22 streak here, absolutely not helping. Dansby Swanson, we may have seen the best of his season. Market him now when you get a chance. He's 4 for 28. J.D. Martinez, is 1 for 28, hasn't duplicated last year. And Robinson Cano, we thought he was coming out of it, but he's now 3 for his last 21, and it's just not working. Not working for some of these guys. Carlos Santana, and we did see Carlos Santana in the batting cage, inside, not the batting cage. We were underneath. We were in the locker, and we were everywhere. We weren't supposed to be in a lot of places too, and as a result, we got some bad marks. But we'll see what happens there. Ryan McMahon, who got a chance to play a little bit, 24 at bats, 4 for 24. That doesn't bode well. Soto, out in Washington, 4 for his last 22. So he is starting to wear down. And don't forget, second half of the season, you got to take the position that the catchers are going to start wearing down, and so will the rookies. And I suppose two of the biggest disappointments this year. Who do you think has been a bigger disappointment? Paul Goldschmidt, 4 for his last 21, or Andrew Benintendi, also 4 for his last 21, both hitting 190. But on the season, who would you say is a bigger disappointment, Paul Goldschmidt or Andrew Benintendi? Okay? Anybody want to take a shot at that one? All right? I suspect most of the answers will be Goldschmidt, but Benintendi certainly has been a huge disappointment, at least for me. I thought Benintendi was going to be among the top players in Major League Baseball this year, and I'll tell you what, devalued next year, I'm already etching him in my kitchen table for next year. Among those hitters that have flourished in the week that I was away, you had Anthony Rizzo, 11 for 20. That's 550 if you're scoring at home. This kid Laureano from Oakland, I mean, I was wrong on him. I thought he was a defensive player only. He's not a defensive player only. He's a defensive player, and he's batting 13 for his last 24. Dickerson out in San Francisco, 12 for 23. Keston Hiura, boy, oh boy, this guy with Travis Shaw playing well in the minor leagues. There's no place for, they're not moving Keston Hiura out. 15 for his last 29. That's a .517 batting average. He's got 8 RBIs. D. Gordon, and he could be traded, and he's building up his value. He's 8 for 16. Ketel Marte, I may have been wrong about Marte, too. I thought he had peaked out, but he's 11 for his last 23. That's a .478 if you're scoring at home. Trey Mancini, another kid who's building up his trade value. He's 8 for his last 18. So these are the guys that had some good times when I was out. Take advantage of the legend being away without criticizing him. Mookie Betts, someone who I took in the Cha-Cha second half league. He's 12 for his last 29. So you should have paid attention to grab Mookie Betts. Hunter Dozier, after his injury, quite a few of us thought that he lost his momentum, but he really didn't. He's 11 for 27 with a .407 batting average this last week. Oscar Mercado has been he's been the best of the bunch, man. He has outlasted Austin Riley and everybody else. He's 11 for 27. That's over 400. J.D. Davis. Now, if Frazier gets traded, Davis is going to get a lot of playing time. He's 10 for his last 25. What? What are you banging on the door for? Hold on a second. Holy mac. Gotta go. You gotta be kidding me. So she goes outside. Outside, and she doesn't bring a key, and she knows I'm doing a podcast, and she's banging on the freaking door to get in. I should have left her out there. Did you bring any towels? All right, anyway, where am I now? Oh, now I lost my momentum. Nick Castellanos, by the way, hitting .346 in his last 26 at-bats, 9 for 26, so he's doing good. And Andy, who made one of the greatest trades of all time, getting Yuli Gurriel. And in that deal, who did you give? You gave up Aaron Judge, Gurriel this last week, 10 for 29. That's batting .345. And for those of you scoring at home, I was at the press conference also with Francona, and I asked a question. Okay, Andy was too chicken to ask a question. I asked him about Jose Ramirez, and the fact is he getting himself together mentally, okay? Because, that's the big Paul Anka. Put your head on my shoulder. Our Danish is really from Denmark. Oh, stop. I'm getting hungry now. Anyway, he said, yep, a big difference. He's confident now, and it's starting to show up. Take a look. Jose Ramirez, 10 for 29, batting .345 for the last 7-day period that we've been away. So sneaking up on you, okay? And Ramirez, hit a couple of home runs, a little bit of pop right there. So those are the players that are that have been flourishing in my absence. Also talking about some of the players that have not flourished, okay? Let's go to some of the action from yesterday now. And again, don't forget, we got some really terrific programming coming up here. Travis Shaw definitely hurt a lot of fantasy owners, but now he's really hitting it. He's really hitting well, but they got no place to put him. Arnie coming up at 10 o'clock. Pitches get glitches with Joel at... Oh, he's not on today. He will not be on today, okay? Aloha Fantasy Baseball with Kevin Hastings will follow at 2. Cam is on at 5:30. Roto Imbeciles with the smartest man in town, George, is going to be on at 7. I don't know if Andy and that guy are doing their show. We'll have to check. Sports Buffet, Lou and Ron, and, of course, Danny Gilbert, the Fantasy Fisticuffs. And then at the end of August, we'll be starting our Round the World Tour. So if you're in the Chicago area and you think you can get out sometime today, give me a holler. Give me a holler. Zelmo's in the chat room. I told him you had you could text Andy, you could text me. 516-353-6375. That's the easiest way to do it. I'm going to put my phone number right there in the chat room. And if you have a chance, if you can get out to Northbrook, okay, give me a call. It's the easiest way. 353-6375. There you go. So give me a call if you want to meet up today. We got a pretty big